Okay, so what do you do if you do see a screw that's got some corrosion like we talked about? You're only seeing it from the top, right, when you're doing your screw check, but there's obviously some rust on there. So what's causing that is that means the seal of the binding mount somehow has let some water in there, and now there's some seepage going probably into the core of the ski, and there's probably getting some water on the screw, and that rust and corrosion is crawling up to the top of the screw, and that's why you're seeing it on the top. Now, this particular screw is taken off, so you can see we're only seeing it from the top, but that's something as a tech you want to make sure you're identifying. There's rust there, but as we take this screw out, you're going to notice that there's rust on the entire screw. And so that's what we're talking about here, is it means that somewhere the seal was broken on the mount. So typically what we use is a 2-part epoxy to mount our bindings to our skis. And what that does is, generally speaking, creates a really good seal so that there's no way for water to seep into the hole and start this rusting process. So when you identify that there's some rust on top, what we want to think about first is what's going on below the screw. Okay, now on this particular ski I pulled, you're going to actually see holes that look like this, and they're actually rusted holes in the wood and in the materials of the ski. So that is what is underneath the binding, what's going on. And why that's incredibly dangerous is as that rust starts to happen, it means more water is going in, and you're going to end up with a core that's rotting away or becoming mushy. If nothing else, it's going to become mushy with water and whatnot. Now, why that's dangerous? When you go to make a telemark turn, there's a really good chance that if you've got rusted screws and rotting core, your binding is going to come out of the ski, causing you to crash, could cause injury. And again, this is a safety factor for the customers, and we want to make sure that we're not sending them out. If we see a rusty screw, that we're actually bringing that to their attention. And also, when you do a screw check on a rusty screw, if you feel it just simply strip out, that means the core is rotted. And what needs to happen then is we can kind of make a decision. So if we see a rusty screw, we do a screw check for the customer, and we've let them know, hey, we're starting to see some rust here. That means there's some corrosion going on inside of the ski most likely. We want to check, we checked your screws. The screws are, are holding tight. But if there's a stripping case, we may want to actually remount those bindings. Or if there's too many holes on the skis, you may even want to recommend that they get a new pair of skis. The main thing with the screw thing is making sure that the customer is safe. And when this ski leaves our bench and goes outside of our doors, that the customer is still safe. Even if they didn't know that that was a problem, we're bringing it to their attention and making sure we know what's going on. So just to recap a little bit, remember, if you see rust or corrosion on the top of the screw, most likely something is going on below the binding and happening in the ski core, and we want to bring that to the attention of the customer.